In this ChatGPT tutorial, you are going to go from beginner to pro in 1 hour. We'll start with the basics of getting set up, and then you'll learn how to get better results from ChatGPT using the Rice prompt framework. You'll learn how to set up custom instructions and also how to use all the new features one by one with plenty of use cases, including how to create your own personal newsletter using Browse with Bing, how to do website reviews using ChatGPT Vision, how to do data analysis and create charts like this right inside of ChatGPT, how to summarize PDFs using the AI PDF plugin, and how to generate beautiful images like this using DALL-E 3. So whether you're new to ChatGPT or an experienced user, I think you're going to get a lot out of this tutorial. I certainly learned a ton making it. Timestamps to everything are in the description. My name is Dara, so let's dive straight in. Ready to get going with ChatGPT? Just go to chat.openai.com, click on sign up to create an account for free. You'll just need to verify your account by putting in the code that you'll get by text message, and you can sign in with Google or just your email. And that's how simple it is to sign up. Now, using ChatGPT is very, very simple. You can just say something like write an essay about AI, and it will generate the text based on your request. Now, it can also generate code and also images, which we're going to look at later. But this is why this whole field is known as generative AI. Now, in the sidebar here, you can see a history of all of your chats, and you can jump back in and continue the conversation, or you can just create a new chat every time you have a new task that you want to do. Now, be aware that there are two different types or two plans for ChatGPT. There's the free plan, which is honestly very powerful and it's great for everyday tasks. But there is also a paid plan, which is $20 a month, and it'll give you priority access to new features and improvements. So I have the paid plan here, and you can see that I have some of the beta features like browsing with Bing, data analysis, and DALL-E 3 for generating images. Now, as well as getting set up on desktop, I do recommend you download the official ChatGPT app. It's available on iOS and also on Android, and this is great to help you get work done on the go. So that's really the basics of ChatGPT. Let's dive in further. Getting ChatGPT is like getting a team of people instantly that are there to support you and take you to the next level. So what I would recommend you do right away is bookmark ChatGPT, pin it to the top of your browser here, and get into the habit of using it every single day. You can treat it like a personal assistant and delegate tasks to it. For example, I'll ask it to give me 20 use cases for ChatGPT, and here are some of the things that you can delegate to ChatGPT. Really, writing assistance, language translation, brainstorming ideas, coding support, travel planning, recipe suggestions, book summaries, fitness and health tips, product recommendations, really anything that you could delegate to someone, ChatGPT can probably help you with that. Now, as well as sort of personal assistant, ChatGPT can really act as a team of experts or consultants or mentors. So I can ask it, for example, to act as a financial advisor and recommend if I should pay off my mortgage early or invest my extra funds. Now, advice like this that would normally cost hundreds of dollars and involve scheduling calls really you can now get it from ChatGPT instantly at no cost. Getting access to ChatGPT is really like getting your own team. So whenever you have a task to do, don't try and do it yourself. Go straight to ChatGPT and it can probably help you with that. So be sure to pin it to the top of your browser and get used to using it every single day. Now let's dive into the world of ChatGPT prompts and how to optimize them for better results. So to get started, let's define what a prompt is. Well, it's really just the instructions that you're giving the AI. For example, write a blog post about the top 5 destinations for digital nomads. So these are much like the directions that you would give a team member, and really the input is going to define the outputs or the results that you get from ChatGPT. So you can see this is a very basic prompt or instruction. And even still, I've got quite a good result here. I've got a blog post. It's got the top 5 destinations and it looks pretty good. But this could be seriously optimized with a better prompt. So I want to introduce you to the RICE framework, and this is what it looks like. So RICE stands for role, instructions, context, constraints, and examples. And let's build up this prompt step by step, and you're going to see the incredible difference that it makes. Now, a note that creating prompts like this is really known as prompt engineering, and people are making a fortune doing this because of the results that the right prompts can get. And people are even selling their prompts now. It's like their own personal IP. It's an incredible opportunity. So this is going to be the basic process, and who knows, you might even start doing this for yourself. So each of these elements plays a crucial role really to get started. And the first thing you need to do is assign a role to ChatGPT. So what I'm going to do is, as we're trying to write a travel blog, I'm going to assign the role as a travel writer. And next we need to provide the instructions. So what I'm going to do is just copy and paste in stuff here I've prepared already. So I'm going to ask it to research and describe the top 5 destinations, include information on cost of living, internet connectivity and co-working spaces, share tips on visas, and consider cultural experiences, etc. Next, we want to move on to context. So you really could say like who your target audience is for this blog, or maybe you want simple language, or it needs to be up to date. So I'm going to say this is aimed at aspiring digital nomads looking for their next adventure. Now, constraints. This is also important. You want to set the boundaries for ChatGPT to keep it on track. So here are some examples for this particular example. Keep the blog post between 1,500 and 2,000 words. Ensure the content is up to date and use a friendly and informative tone throughout. And finally, we're going to move on to providing some examples. So if you want to give an example to ChatGPT, this is what I expect you to output. This can be a really good way to get the results that you want. So I've just copied in here a paragraph from an article that I liked the writing style of. It was friendly and it contained some of the information. So it looks a little bit messy there, but we've got our RICE framework. So let's hit enter and see how much better this is than our basic prompt. So already, I think this looks a lot better. We've got an opening paragraph. Are you an aspiring digital nomad looking for your next adventure? So already, this is who the target audience is. It's much more eye-catching. If we look back and we can see this here. So the introduction for our basic prompt wasn't that great, but here you can see, it's got a great opening paragraph. It's written very user-friendly. It looks like it's written by a human. Bali is a paradise for digital nomads. Lisbon is the European gem of digital nomads. Medellin, known as the city of eternal spring. Chiang Mai, hotspot for years, etc. So you can see that they have some visa and immigration tips. And, that's kind of much better written because our prompt was much better. So that's really an introduction to prompt engineering and the RICE framework. basically the better your prompts are, the better results that you're going to get. Now, the good news is you don't have to come up with all of the stuff like I showed you there. I filled in all of those items one by one, which you might be thinking, oh, that looks like a lot of work. But what you can just say is, I want you to write a blog post about the top 5 destinations. Help me create an optimized prompt using the RISE framework. You can list it out like that. Just hit enter. And this will generate, and you can see this is almost better than what I did. Your role as a travel blogger, and you're writing this, here's instructions. And so you can take the prompt that ChatGPT gave you, the optimized prompt, you could optimize it even further and then use that. So again, it can help you optimize prompts to get better results. It's this kind of crazy loop, but I think that's an extremely valuable tip as well. So try it out for yourself. The better your prompts, the better your outputs. Now I'm going to show you how to share your prompts with colleagues, team members, or even your audience. In the top right-hand corner here, you'll see the Share Chat button. And you'll have the option if you want to click on the title and rename the prompt or chat that you're resharing. I think that's perfect. Also here by default, it actually appears anonymous, but you can share your name. I'll do that. And then you can copy the link and send it by email. I'll post this one in the description so you can try it out for yourself. And once you click on it, it'll open up like this inside of your ChatGPT account. You can just click on continue this conversation. And what you're going to see then is you'll have that prompt available to you. So it took a while there, but it opened up. So I've given you this prompt here to optimize your prompts using the RISE framework. So you can just copy that and paste it into a new chat. You can select your GPT-4 if you wanted to, and just say what you want to do. And then using this, it'll optimize the prompt for you. So that's a simple way to share prompts with the built-in sharing feature in ChatGPT. Give it a go. Custom instructions are a great feature that can save you a ton of time with ChatGPT. So I'll show you how to set them up and also do it before and after so you can really see the benefit of them. So to set up custom instructions, just click on the 3 dots next to your username, click on custom instructions, make sure you have them enabled here, and then you'll be able to fill out these 2 boxes. The top box is where you can input information about yourself, such as what you do for work, what are some of your goals. Now the bottom box, probably the more important one, is how you would like ChatGPT to respond. So that could include things like formal, casual, long answers, short answers, etc. Now there are some good examples here on the OpenAI blog. For example, I'm a software developer solely using the Golang language. And when I ask for code, please just give me the code without any explanation or how it works, biased towards the most efficient solution. So that's a great example. Probably the best thing though is to show you a before and after. And I'll also be sharing my own custom instructions at the end. So be sure to just keep watching for that. So I'll disable these and let's do an example so we can see without custom instructions what the answer is. So I'll put in a very basic example like what is Bitcoin? And here we see we can get the answer. I mean, it's pretty good, but it's hard for me to skim, read. The language seems quite complicated. There's a lot of terms and jargon I might not be familiar with. And so what I've done is I've created a bunch of custom instructions. I'll just enable them here, but they are basic things like use simple language and avoid jargon, use real life examples or metaphors or analogy to explain complex topics, always explain the why and the benefits as well as, the how-to maybe. And most importantly, probably write in a way that I can skim read with no large paragraphs. And another one here that, is important, maybe not relevant to this example, but if I ask for some sort of financial advice or help me think through a decision, it'll always caveat the answers by saying, be sure to consult a professional. I'm not a child. I understand this. You don't need to repeat it every single time. So if there are annoying phrases like that kind of annoy you, you can just put these into custom instructions and it'll never mention them again. And you'll have a much better experience using ChatGPT. Finally, provide some reliable sources so I can read further or check the accuracy of what ChatGPT is saying. So I'm going to save these. Let's do the example now with the custom instructions enabled. So what is Bitcoin? And already you can probably see that this language is a lot simpler. There's none of the jargon that was there before. And the layout looks easier. It's easier for skim reading. And then there is the source at the end, which I can look at later. So you tell me, do you think this response is better? Or do you think this response is better? Personally, I like this one. Of course, you can just program it however you want your responses to be, but I do want to share the custom instructions that I've input here because I think you can use them regardless of your role. These are quite general. So what I will do is share these custom instructions. You'll find this link in the description and you can just open that up and then you'll just be able to copy these custom instructions and then open up your custom instructions here, paste them in, make sure you save them, and that'll be applied to all of your new chats. So you will have to open up a new chat to do that. So give that a go. You can always tweak them and customize them as you go forward, but that's, I think, is a good starting place. So try out custom instructions right away and start getting better responses from ChatGPT. Now I want to show you how to enable these amazing beta features in ChatGPT like Browse with Bing, Advanced Data Analysis, Plugins, and DALL-E 3. Now right now they're only available in the paid plan, so if you do want to upgrade, just click on the left sidebar here, click on your name, click on My Plan, and here you'll be able to manage your subscription. The paid plan is $20 a month. Now, even after upgrading, you'll still need to actually go ahead and enable them. So what you need to do is click on your name once again, click on Settings and Beta, click on Beta Features, and make sure that these are toggled green here so that once you open up ChatGPT, you'll see all of these features here. And I'll go through them now one by one so you can see what they do, and you can always decide afterwards if it's worth it for you to upgrade. So if you're liking this video so far, I'd appreciate if you give it a like so more people can find it. And if you have any questions, just comment below and I'll do my best to answer them. Okay, let's dive in deeper and take a look at all of these beta features. ChatGPT can now access the internet and it's no longer limited to the knowledge base that it was actually trained on. And this is all possible because of the new feature, Browse with Bing. So I want to show you how it works and give you 5 use cases for it that you can go ahead and try right away. So the first use case is news summaries. So to use Browse with Bing, you have to make sure that it's not selected on the default option, that you actually change it to Browse with Bing. What we're going to do is put in an example prompt here. Top 5 news stories from Tesla this week. So if you're creating any sort of content, news related content, this could be a good option. If you just want to keep up with the news, you can say the daily news from globally today, or in my country, the top 5 news items. Whatever you're interested in, you can pop this in and you can see that it's browsing the internet now, going through all of the various sources, and that'll save you clicking through everything and filter out all the noise of the stuff you're also not interested in. Twitter news sites, they're extremely noisy. There's a lot of stuff you might not be interested in. And so personally, I find this a good thing, maybe on a Friday, just to type in what I'm interested in and to catch up within, 5 or 10 minutes on all the main items. And here we go. It'll just list it out for us. Now you can see that it took a little bit of time for it to do that. In the upcoming use cases, I'll just cut that out, so it's a little not so boring for you to watch it. But you can see that it's listing out the top 5 news stories here. So you can see it's finished now, the top 5 items. I think there's some really detailed, interesting things there that I hadn't picked up on, even scanning the news a little bit during the week. So I think that's news summaries is number 1 use case that is extremely useful. Now let's move on to use case number 2, which is accelerated market research. So if you're conducting any sort of market research to understand industry trends, customer preferences, or even competitors, you can now do this with Browse with Bing. So I'm going to put in find the latest statistics on global electric vehicle sales. And again, it'll go out, search various sources, and collect all the data here in one place. And that's finished loading up here now. And you can see it is very detailed. A lot of statistics and all of the sources are included here as well if I want to go and look that up. So if you're doing any sort of competitor, market, investment, research for work or just for yourself, this is a great use case, really having that accelerated market research. Now let's move on to use case number 3, which is to summarize web pages. So any web page on the internet you can now summarize. So for example, there was this very popular article that was going around. I saw it on Twitter, but it was very long and I wasn't sure if I really wanted to read all of it. So what I did is I just came into ChatGPT and I said, summarize this page in 5 bullet points. And there we go. I've got my bullet points, really a summary of it, helping me to understand what it's about quicker. I can still go through and read it to get all the details, which I actually ended up doing. But this is a great way, again, at work or in personal life, just to get through a lot more information and to really stay updated. Now let's move on to use case number 4, which is travel planning. So I'll show you an example of this now. Find 3 hotels in New York for $200 or less per night near Central Park. And now I've got my list. I've got 3 hotels here listing the location, the price, the amenities of the hotel. And I've got 3 good options here. You can see that they have it gathered from various sources and also offering kind of perfect for different types of travelers. Maybe I could have said business traveler or hotel suitable for families, something like that. But I think, if you type this same search into Google, this is just not the way that regular search engines are set up. You have these aggregators where you can go and search on Kayak or something like that. But it's but even if we click into this article, which seems to be quite close to what I said, you can see that there's a lot of information here. I maybe don't need all of that. And here's just summarized beautifully for me, like perhaps a personal assistant would. So that was number 4, use case travel planning. Now let's go on to use case number 5, which is website reviews. So this is great because ChatGPT can actually go to a website, visit it, and give you feedback on it. So for example, I'll ask it to go to this website and suggest 3 things to get more bookings. So here are the 3 suggestions. It said enhance the booking system for smoother experience, add promotions or special deals throughout the website, and a newsletter sign up. So let's have a look. We can see that the booking buttons may be over here. Maybe it could have been moved more central. As it suggested, there's no promotions maybe across the top or a banner. That could maybe be an improvement, a yellow banner across the top. Certainly that would be eye-catching. And also a newsletter sign up. Yeah, that's down here. Maybe not as strong as a call to action. to get people to sign up. So I think these are actually pretty good suggestions. Now you can ask it to say things like improve the copy or the words that are written on the website. This is just a great way to get objective feedback on your website or on your projects free of charge. These website reviews can be kind of expensive to do. So this is just another great way for people working on their own or even as part of a team to get more feedback on what they're doing. So those were the 5 use cases. They were news summaries, market research, summarizing web pages, travel planning, and the last one, website reviews. So try those all out for yourself. I think you're really going to be impressed what Browse with Bing can do for you. You can now upload images to ChatGPT, ask questions about them. This feature is incredible. I'll show you how it works and we'll go through 5 use cases. So to use ChatGPT Vision as it's known, you just need to go to the default mode. It doesn't actually appear as a beta feature, but you'll see this option here to attach an image. So for the first use case, we're going to get feedback on a homepage. So what I've just done is taken a screenshot of the homepage of this website. I'm uploading it and I'm asking it, how can I improve this homepage? It's finished loading up now and it's listed out 12 recommendations. This is like getting a review from a professional designer. And for example, it's saying make the upload button could be more prominent, perhaps using contrasting colors to stand out. Here we go. It says maybe right below the fold, so that's just below the area shown, you could have a brief list of key features like fast processing or supports bulk uploads. I think that's a good idea. Testimonials also. Maybe having a visualization to show people how the tool works. Maybe a quick GIF or a short video snippet. So these are good because this is just a static image here saying remove background, image background. I think it's quite clear what this tool does. But yeah, a slider or a GIF or a GIF, if that's how you're supposed to say it, or a video, I think is a good suggestion. Maybe an alternate call to action. So people not ready to upload an image just yet, perhaps they could have a learn more or see examples call to action, which I also think is a good idea. Chat support, FAQ, some other ideas there. So again, this is like having feedback from a professional designer. I think really good for small businesses or people working on their own. Okay, so let's move on to use case number 2, which is picture to text storytelling. So what I'm going to do is upload my image once again. And I've got an image of a spooky house here. And I'm going to ask it to craft a spooky short story based on this image. Now the story has been generated and it looks pretty good. I mean, it understood that this was an image of a spooky house. It gave it the name of Crow Manor. And it said it stood really in moonlight, bathed a dilapidated structure. Maybe I could have said here, put it in a short story for children. So the language is a bit simpler. But they have a whole story written out here, just generated on the image. It understood what the image was and it generated a story about it. This could be great for content creation or even perhaps personal pictures that you want to write a short description about. That could be an interesting use case. So let's move on to use case number 3, which is image-based learning. So what here I've got is a picture of a leaf. Let's just imagine I was out in the garden gardening and I took a picture of this on my phone, uploaded it, and then I'm asking it to identify and explain this disease. So here it says that this leaf has distinct brown lesions and it's really identifying that this is known as leaf spot and it has some factors that are really causing this. So this is great, I think, for maybe identifying plants, animals, maybe rashes, things like that you see on yourself for kids. and you want to get really some information on them, I think this is another great use case, image-based learning. Now let's look at our fourth use case, which is really digitizing handwritten notes. So I've written down a note here, and I'm just going to ask it to digitize this. So here's my note, and it has digitized it here. I've seen some funny examples of people using this to read doctors' handwriting. They're notorious for bad handwriting, so people are uploading them here to find out what the prescriptions are for. This could be great for archiving information. I think another good use case. Now, the fifth and final use case we'll look at is design recommendations for a bedroom. So I've uploaded a picture of a bedroom here, and I'll just say, suggest improvements. And let's see, this is the before image, and it's come up with 10 suggestions here, including decluttering, improving the bedding, adding a rug, having some wall decorations, lighting, and some curtains, maybe some indoor plants, furniture placement. Okay, so we've got some good suggestions there. I've actually got the after picture here as well, so we can really see the transformation. And pretty much what ChatGPT said actually is in this image. Now, I know it's quite hard to visualize, but yes, there is better bedding. There is a rug. There is a plant there. There is some things on the wall. So it's not perfect, but I think for free, this is something you can use at home and get immediate benefit from. That is just 5 of the use cases for ChatGPT Vision, so go ahead and try it out for yourself. Now I want to show you one of the most talked about features in ChatGPT, which is advanced data analysis, also known as code interpreter. Now, these sound quite technical, but don't worry, I'm going to show you a simple example about how anybody, even a non-technical person like me, can get the best out of this. So make sure that you've got it selected, and then you'll see the option down here to attach a file. Now you can upload really any type of file, like a text, a PDF, an image, a CSV file, any sort of coding files as well. And you can really then ask questions in a natural way with ChatGPT. So the example that I'm going to use is just to download my YouTube analytics, and you can do that by going into YouTube. You'll see advanced mode up in the corner here, and then you can go ahead and download all of your analytics. Then once you do that, you'll see that it'll be downloaded into a couple of different file types, and I just uploaded the table data. So that's really what I am going to drag in here. Now coming back, so I've got my files. I'm just going to drop them in. And so what I'm going to say to it here is just act as a data scientist, and attached to my YouTube analytics, take a look. So first of all, it just takes a look at the data to make sure that it can understand it. So this is great. It's taken a look at the data, and it says that it contains all of these columns here. So content, video title, publish time, subscribers, impressions, etc. And now it even gives me some suggestions about what questions I could ask to get the most out of this data. And that's incredibly helpful, because often I don't know what to look for in my own YouTube analytics, or I can't find the data that I'm looking for. So, what you can also say is maybe suggest some questions. So I'll type this in. Suggest questions that I should ask to get the best insights from the data provided. So I've asked it that, and it's given me 10 different categories of questions that I could ask. And there are some really interesting ones that here, like which videos might have the highest click-through rate, videos have the highest revenue, which videos have the highest and lower subscriber to view ratios. So
let's have a look at some of these other ones first. Highest and lowest impressions. Are there common themes or topics among the top performing videos? We can take a look at that maybe based on keywords. Average revenue per view across all videos. I think that would be extremely difficult to calculate just in YouTube. I don't think you can even see that metric. So it's interesting that with this tool, we can ask in a natural way and find out and get insights about our data. So let's take a look at maybe a couple of these examples. Let's have a look at this one. Which videos have the highest and lowest subscriber to view ratios? So here we have the answer now. The highest subscriber to view ratio was this video here, where I got almost 5% of viewers to subscribe. Even though that video didn't do that well in terms of views, I remember, it's interesting to know that it did get a lot of subscribers. So maybe I can do some more videos on that. And how to get Canva Pro for free, very low subscriber rate there. You can see it's like 0.1%. So if my goal was to grow subscribers, maybe more content like that would be good. Now I'm going to really paste in a couple of more questions here that I practiced earlier, so I know what the results are going to be, but you can really go back to the list that was shown also and just try out some of those for yourself. A thing to be aware of as well is that not just YouTube analytics, it could be your Google analytics or analytics from ad campaigns, really any analytics that you have or data that you have, you can put into this and ask questions about it. Here's another insight. The video with the highest click rate through was this video here that had a 14% click through for YouTube. That's very good. So maybe having more how-to videos like that or on that topic would be good. Now, as well as just seeing the data in kind of text format there, we can actually ask it to visualize the data. So I'm going to ask it to visualize the top 10 videos by subscribers gained. And now I've got the visualization, so I can see that this video here, had a lot of subscribers gained, and I can see the popular ones. And so this really, again, if I'm trying to gain subscribers, I can see the videos that are really gaining subscribers, and if growing my channel by subscribers is my goal, then those are the videos to focus on. Now, as well as charts like this, you can do line charts, basically any type of chart that you want. You could just say that and it would display the data like it. So let's do one more, and we'll do it in a table format. It's another easy format. So display the top 5 videos with high views but low subscribers in a table format. And here I've got my table now showing me, for example, how many views needed on average to gain a single subscriber for each video. So this is kind of like an efficiency ratio. How efficient was the video at converting those views into subscribers? And you can see that this video was, although it gained a lot of subscribers, it wasn't that efficient in doing it because it required 248 views to get 1 subscriber. So again, that's an interesting metric I'd never even thought about, the efficiency of the video of converting from viewers to subscribers. By the way, subscribe to this channel as if you're enjoying these videos. So I am not at all technical. I have very little experience with data analysis, but even uploading my own YouTube analytics here very quickly, I'm starting to get some good insights, and I think that this is a tool that I can use a lot more going forward. I think the key thing as well is that you can just upload your data. Remember to ask it to act as a data scientist and say what type of data it is. And then also, I think it's a good idea to ask it to suggest some questions you should ask. So with those steps, you don't need to know anything really about the data, what questions to ask to get insights for it. So that is the data analysis tool, also known as Code Interpreter. It can do a lot more, but I think that's a basic introduction to show you what it can do. So try it out for yourself. ChatGPT plugins are a great feature that can extend the capabilities of ChatGPT. So I'm going to show you some of the most popular ones and really how useful they can be. So make sure you've got plugins selected, and you can see that no plugins are enabled. So we can click on that, go to the plugin store. Here you'll see the most popular plugins. You can also see new ones, and you can also search for them here as well. Let's get started by looking at AI PDF, which at the moment is the most popular one. We can just click install. We can uninstall this anytime as well. From what I can see, all of these plugins are pretty much free. Some have paid on options to use the full capabilities, but these are free to use. So it's not always clear what these can do. So we can ask, what can this plugin do, to really get clear about how it works. And when I was testing out some of these, I found this a useful way to just really figure out how I could use the plugin. Now this one is fairly straightforward. You can use it to really chat with PDFs. So it can summarize different PDFs, and you can also search for like specific queries or words within the document, quotes, citations, information like that. So what you need to do is provide the URL to the PDF that you want to interact with. So one example of a document you could chat with is a financial report. So I'm going to go to the Tesla website here. We're going to get the latest financials. And you can see that this is uploaded to their website. It's a public link with a .pdf ending. So I can just take that, and we're going to pop this into ChatGPT. And I'll just ask it to provide a one-page summary of this document and then paste in the URL to the PDF. And now it opens it up and it's really having a look at the documents. And here we have now a summary of the document. We've got the highlights, financial summary, operational summary, vehicle capacity, and really just a good summary of the document here. Now, as well as summarizing a document, we can search for specific terms. So I'll ask for it, how many times was FSD, full self-driving, mentioned? It says that FSD was mentioned 5 times, and I've asked for the quotations, and they're listed out here. So those are the main functionalities: summarizing and searching for specific quotes. So another example is maybe chatting with books. Say, for example, The Great Gatsby. You could ask for an essay on symbolism in the book, or how many times the green lantern or light was mentioned in the book, which is an important symbol. So as well as financial reports, books, perhaps scientific papers, user manuals, legal documents, or employee training documents, all of these can be looked at more efficiently with the AI PDF plugin. One more thing is that if the PDF isn't in a public .pdf file like this, you can always upload it to the AI PDF.app website. It's free to do. So if you've got some private documents, you can upload it there, and then they'll give you the URL and you just paste it in there. It works the exact same way. Let's take a look at another plugin. So to get it, we can go to the plugin store once again. This one's on the second page where you can just search for it. It's called DocMaker. So install that, close the window. And if you have multiple plugins like this, it's best to just select the one that you want to use so there's no confusion. Now, once again, what we can do is just ask what type of documents can you make, or what can you do as a plugin, so we can really get clear on what it can do. And here it says we can create CSV files, PDFs, HTML, PowerPoint presentations, resumes, or Excel spreadsheets. So I have an idea to really take the information that we got from our summary from Tesla. So I've already copied and pasted it here. So what I'm going to say is I've copy and pasted the summary we got there, but I've asked it to turn it into a PowerPoint presentation, remove any of these page references, and cut the highlights section down to 5 points. You can see the highlights section is quite long, and they also have these page references, which I don't want to show up in my presentation. So those are some instructions, and let's submit it and see how it does. All right, so it says it's finished now. It took a minute, but let's open it up and take a look. So here's our presentation now. We've got a title page. We've got the highlights, which they did cut down to 5 points. I've got my financial, operational, and the different sections there. So this is great. I think it really speeds up the process of me creating the presentation myself. Now remember, if you want to get more plugins, you can just go to the plugin store and look at the popular ones or search for them. Maybe one that's worth mentioning is Wolfram. This is great at math and engineering type information. That's one of the criticisms of ChatGPT, or has been in the past, that it's not as strong in computation, maths, things like that. Well, simple plugins like that can fix that and fill in the gaps with ChatGPT and make it extremely useful. So that's a basic introduction to ChatGPT plugins. Go ahead and try them out for yourself. One big new addition to ChatGPT is DALL-E 3, which enables you to generate images right inside of ChatGPT. So just make sure you have that selected. And once again, you don't have to know exactly what to ask. You can just, what are some example prompts for DALL-E 3 that create amazing images? And it's going to give us some prompts to ask. So if you've been using other image generators like Midjourney, you'll know that you have to be quite specific about the prompts or instructions that you give to those tools. But with ChatGPT, because it understands natural language, you don't have to be that specific. And it just feels like a very, very natural way to work with these types of tools in a conversational format. Much more natural than, say, Midjourney, where you have to do /imagine and have all of these more technical approaches to prompting. So here it's come up now with a prompt. So let's just go ahead and copy this, and we can paste this in. And you can see that I'm just pasting this in like text. I'm not doing /imagine. I'm not putting in anything kind of weird like that. This is just like typing text, and this is really text to image generation. And here our images are generated now. We've got 4 images that are generated, and if you click onto the image, you can actually see the prompt here, and you can copy that if you want to get different versions of it. But what we'll do is, maybe let's have a look at these images. So this one looks quite interesting. So what we'll do is maybe copy this prompt, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to edit this. And what we'll say is we want 2 majestic deers. And let's see if we can follow these instructions. Wow, so this is pretty nice. It understood that I wanted to change the image to 2 deers, and it's given me a couple of different versions in the stream up here. And as you can see, it's in the same style as the first image, but it was very easy for me to edit it. And again, I've got the prompt there that I can just copy. So these type of artistic images, it's great at doing. But what else can it do? Let's ask it what other types of designs it can make. It's come back with a list of 13 types of images that it can make. So concept art, fashion designs like sketches of footwear, architecture and interior designs, logos and branding. I think that's one we could try out. Abstract art, sci-fi and fantasy scenes, infographics, product designs. I just think this is great if you have any product ideas and you want to visualize them. Book covers, cartoons and comics, historical scenes, educational illustrations, and wildlife. Now, this is a good point here. Remember that the more detailed and descriptive the prompt, the closer the resulting image will be. So just like a text prompt, when you're generating a blog post or whatever, the more detailed your prompt, the better result that you're going to get. So what I will ask it to do now is to create a logo for my coffee shop, the Daily Brew. And I want to show you that ChatGPT and DALL-E 3 can actually even write legible text. And this is amazing because this took a long time for Midjourney to be able to do this. But you can see on the first release here that ChatGPT can do it. The date it was established, so we'll just put that in as 2024. And here we have our design. I think it looks pretty good. Some of the other designs, actually, the text was a little bit off, so maybe not quite yet perfect, but I think a great starting point. You can always send these designs to a professional designer or someone even on Fiverr and say, you know, this is what I want, or just tidy up the text. So we've looked at artistic style images, we've looked at logos. Let's look at a product idea. So if I had an idea for a Star Wars teapot, let's just see what it comes up with. Now this is interesting because it says they're unable to generate images based on Star Wars due to content policy restrictions. So that's quite interesting that these restrictions are already built in, maybe. But what we can do, surprise me with the similar design, and let's see what it comes up with. Here we have some pretty cool images. This one in particular I like. And this is just another example of how you can visualize product ideas that you have, and then always you could maybe even post those to your audience or customers and say, is this the type of product that you would like to make? This is in the works, give us feedback. I think this is just a great tool overall for getting feedback from customers or maybe visualizing ideas. So that is just a quick look at DALL-E 3. Now remember, it can do all of these other use cases as well. But the best thing is to just get in and dive in and try it out with a couple of examples for yourself. Let's take a look now at ChatGPT Voice, which is a feature exclusively available on the ChatGPT app. So open that up and then go to Settings, go to New Features, and you can just enable that by clicking on Voice Conversations. Now, when you open up a chat, you'll see this icon in the top right-hand corner. It's like a headphones. You can click that open, and then you'll be able to enable this. And let's run through a couple of use cases now. I have an interview as a product manager at Google. Please ask me a series of questions one by one to help me practice for this interview.
Of course. I'll help you get prepared. Let's get started. First question. Why do you want to be a product manager at Google? And how does your experience align with this role?
Okay, so in this example, then I'd continue to answer those questions. And really, that's, I think, a great use case. Practicing podcast interviews, maybe interviews for jobs, really any sort of presentation you have to give. I think this is a great use case. Now, another use case is probably language learning on the go. So let's try this. How do I say good morning in Spanish, and can you give me some tips for correct pronunciation?
Certainly. Good morning in Spanish is buenos dias. For pronunciation, buenos sounds like buenos. Dias sounds like dias. Tip, the emphasis is on buenos and day in dias. Now, how about we move to the next interview question?
So you can see there it was going back to the previous conversation. So probably best to open up a new chat every time you want to have a conversation. Now, let's do that here, new chat. And let's do a final use case. I wanted to act as a tour guide. I'm at the Eiffel Tower in Paris. Can you give me a like as if you were a tour guide, explain some interesting facts about the Eiffel Tower.
Of course. I'd be happy to share some interesting facts about the Eiffel Tower. Firstly, the Eiffel Tower, or La Tour Eiffel in French, was completed in 1889 as the entrance arch for the 1889 World's Fair, which celebrated the 100th anniversary of the French Revolution.
So there you go. I think those are three interesting use cases, maybe interview practice, language learning, and as essentially a tour guide. Now, I really do think this is where all of this technology is going. We're going to be talking to it like real people. There is a bit of a delay on this right now, but this is just the beginning. This is the first release of this feature. And I think this is really going to be the main way we interact with AI in the future. So it's exciting even to get a glimpse into it now. That wraps up this ChatGPT tutorial. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. If you enjoyed it, give it a like and comment below with any questions you have or other videos you'd like to see about ChatGPT, and subscribe to get notified when I make them. So share this video if you want with anybody who you think it'll help. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.